Hello. So, the man with balls the size of Murphy peas has spoken. Sunak addressing the nation last night. And before I go any further, I want to go back to 1968 and Enoch Powell's Rivers of Blood speech. I won't go into it, but that's what he'll be remembered for forevermore, the Rivers of Blood speech. Now, last night for me, Sunak, the man with balls the size of Murphy peas, he will be remembered for the river of shit speech. Absolute, pure shite. Gutless, spineless, yellowback Prime Minister. Like the rest of his cabinet, like the rest of his cabinet, and the rest of his MPs, Tory MPs, excluding Sir William Braverman and Lee Anderson, who at the moment is not a Tory MP. Coming in, speaking about the right-wing threat. And these Islamists, well, let's get something straight. Since October 7th, 2023, our capital city has been overrun by Islamists, basically causing anarchy and having carte blanche to do whatever they want, while the police, who are weak as piss, have stood by and let them get on with it. They've desecrated war graves, our national flags, intimidated and threatened anybody and being allowed to get away with it. While the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, sat back, and they say silence is golden. I've said it before and I'll say it again. He won't criticise anything to do with Islam, Sadiq Khan. That's my personal opinion. He's in overall charge of the Met, who in my opinion, say Khan's got the last say. So as far as I'm concerned, on the Met he's got the last say. The may as well be renamed the KMG, Khan's Muslim Gestapo, because if you oppose anything Islamic, you're off the streets. You've had mainstream schools closed. You've had Jewish schools closed. You've got teachers censoring their own lessons in fear of being branded racist. These people have been allowed to run amok. They've just threatened and intimidated in Rochdale, well, what was formerly known as Rochdale, in my opinion. It should be known as Rapedale. Such is the amount of unsolved rapes on British children, racially motivated rapes by Muslim men. That's how I see it. That's my opinion. Local councillors terrified to attend the elections, being threatened with their lives and violence. You've got MPs walking away from doing the jobs to the threat of Islamists. Not right-wing people, threat of Islamists and people of the Muslim faith. But all Sunak comes on about, he speaks about the right-wing threat. Like I say, there's been no grooming by the right wing of children from minorities, or nothing like that. There's been no sacred Muslim buildings attacked as mainstream as what's happened in London since October 23. Nothing. And all you get is Islamophobia, Islamophobia, Islamophobia. If there is Islamophobia, is there any reason? Because you give these people an inch and they want 10,000 miles. That's how I see it. Now, I'd like Keir Starmer to come out and tell me how many MPs, Labour MPs, are suspended for anti-Semitism. How many Labour Party members are suspended for anti-Semitism? As we all know, the Labour Party is institutionally racist for decades. Not just under Starmer, for decades, absolute decades. Now I want to speak about an horrendous event, in my opinion, that happened 2 or 3 weeks ago. The home of Tobias Ellwood, an elected MP. He was elected in 2019 for East Bournemouth East. I think the Labour candidate at the time was a lady called Corey Drew. Now, it was a landslide victory for Tobias Elwood. So what's happened is, 3 weeks ago, maybe it's less, maybe it's a little bit more, 100 or so, or maybe it's more, pro-Palestine supporters, in my opinion, Hamas supporters, because the way I see it, anybody who supports is pro-Palestine is pro-Hamas, turned up at Tobias Elwood's home, where he's living with his wife and his sons. And allegedly, Corey Drew was the leader, one of the people there, and there was placards there with "You've got blood on your hands," etc., etc., etc. This is vile, it's intimidation, and it's threatening, and it shouldn't be happening. Like I say, you've got MPs from all over the country that are not standing for re-election because of action like this through Islamists and people supporting this pro-Palestine carry on. Now, if Tobias Elwood has got any blood on his hands, I'll explain about Tobias Elwood. This man's an honourable man. He served Queen and country. He lost his brother to an Islamic attack in the attack in Bali in 2017, when there was an Islamist attack at Westminster Palace. There's 5 people killed in 82 seconds by Islamic terrorists. In my opinion, the same people that them who turned up at his house are supporting. Because like I say, anybody supporting pro-Palestine is support a ceasefire for pro-Palestine, is supporting Hamas. There's 5 people killed in 82 seconds. In one of them was PC Keith Palmer. And Tobias Elwood, who heroically tried to save the PC's life with resuscitation and wouldn't give up when told to do so by a doctor. He done this for how long, I don't know, but unfortunately it was all in vain. So any blood Tobias Elwood has ever had on his hands, maybe it was on that day when he's trying to save PC Keith Palmer, who was butchered by Islamists, the sort of people you're cheering for, these pro-Palestinian parasites. That's my opinion, that's how I see it. It's got to stop. This country is supposed to be democratic. It's not. Because if you're white, or if you're working class and you're British, you've got no say. I've got no problem with anybody from any race or any religion who comes to this country and integrates and accepts the freedom and the democracy and the privilege to live in this country. I've got no problem with anybody like that. My problem is with these people who want to take our culture, our history, and our future away from our children and my grandchildren. Because I won't stand for it, and neither will the rest of the silent majority in this country, people. So, if you've liked it, all well and good. If you haven't, as per usual, I couldn't care less.